If you want to know where a lot of the wealthy buyers in Metro Atlanta end up, Milton is absolutely one of those places. And today we're talking about 5 standout Milton neighborhoods that each give you a very different version of luxury living. But this is not really about the 5 nicest neighborhoods. It's about 5 very different ways to live in Milton, and that difference matters a lot. You've got statement luxury, classic country club living, equestrian styling, a more approachable way into Milton, and maybe the biggest Milton superpower of all. Hey, my name's Joel. I'm a local realtor here in Metro Atlanta, and I help people relocate around this area all the time. Let's get into it. If you're not familiar with Milton, here is the quick version. Sitting right in the space between Highway 140 and Georgia 400, this is one of the most expensive and most land-rich suburbs in all of Metro Atlanta. Big homes, bigger lots, country club communities, equestrian estates, and some of the best privacy you're going to find anywhere this close in. Milton also works hard to preserve that feel, so unlike a lot of the other suburbs around Atlanta that are developing more and more, this place still has room to breathe. And even with all of that land and privacy, you're still a short drive from Alpharetta, Avalon, and the Georgia 400 corridor, which is a big part of why Milton stays so attractive to executives and luxury buyers. Now, last thing before we get into the neighborhoods, one quick note on schools, because in Milton, that absolutely matters. Different neighborhoods feed into different school zones, so if a specific school is a major priority for you, you need to verify the exact assignment before you buy. But overall, the school story here is very strong. You're looking at schools like Summit Hill, Hopewell, Cambridge, Birmingham Falls, Northwestern, Milton High, and Cogburn Woods. In general, these are strong ratings across the board with a lot of A pluses on niche.com and greatschools.org, 9s and 10s out of 10. So yes, schools are absolutely part of the Milton appeal. Just make sure you verify the exact school zoning. Now, finally, let's get into the neighborhoods. If you're looking for iconic, recognizable Milton, this is the place. This is Luxury Country Club Milton. The manor is gated, there's always a guard posted, and an amenity package is about as full service as it gets. Golf, multiple clubhouses, multiple pools, bars, restaurant, smoothie service, you name it. The lots are generally around an acre, though some run a bit smaller while others stretch up to around 6 acres. The homes go back to around 2005. There is a lot of stock from the 2010s, but there is still plenty of new construction happening too. For schools, the manor feeds into Summit Hill Elementary, Hopewell Middle, and Cambridge High School, which are going to add to the appeal if strong school zoning is high on your list. Price-wise, this is one of the clearest luxury options in Milton. You're looking at about $1.5 million on the low end and can climb close to $6 million if you're talking about, the big 10,000 square foot newer custom homes. And that is really the point of the manor. This one has that wow factor. If you want the neighborhood in Milton that feels the most like a statement, then this is going to be it. If the manor is Luxury Country Club Milton, White Columns is Classic Country Club Milton. This one is also gated. It also has golf, pools, a clubhouse, tennis, pickleball, and all the usual country club pieces that you'd want in a neighborhood like this. But the feel is different. The lots here are generally nothing under an acre and usually, not much over 2 acres. The homes are mostly built from 1995 to 2005, and they feel more traditional, more brick, stucco, cement plank, less flashy custom stonework. More established, more classic, maybe more understated. White Columns is going to feed into Birmingham Falls Elementary, Northwestern Middle, and Cambridge High School. And then price-wise, you're generally around $1.2 to $2.5 million, which is still obviously more on the expensive side, but it sits in a different lane than the manor will. If you drove through both back to back, I think the first thing that you'd notice is that the manor has more of that wow factor, while White Column still feels more traditional and more like old school Milton prestige. Still very nice, still very expensive, just not trying as hard to impress you in that first 30 seconds. Now, if you're into the equestrian style of Milton, but you do not actually need or maybe want horses, Triple Crown is a great option. This neighborhood is not gated and there is no golf course, which immediately makes it feel different from the manor and White Columns. What it does have is swim, tennis, a clubhouse, and one of the more distinctive identities in Milton. This place leans hard into the equestrian feel. horse fencing, equestrian theming. That whole aesthetic is very much part of the experience here. The lots are generally nothing under an acre, and most are around 1 to 1.25 acres. The homes are mostly built from 2000 to 2010, so a little bit newer than White Columns overall. Then this one is going to feed into Birmingham Falls Elementary, Northwestern Middle, and Milton High School. So the school story here definitely holds up too. Price-wise, you're generally in that 1.5 to 2.2 million range. And the best way I describe Triple Crown is this. It gives you that horse country Milton vibe without needing to fully commit to actual horse property living. So if you like the Milton aesthetic but do not need the gate, the golf, or the biggest flex in town, this one makes a whole lot of sense. Now, this one matters because not everybody shopping in Milton is trying to spend $2 to $5 million. Crooked Creek is one of the more approachable ways to get into the Milton conversation. Now, approachable in Milton still needs context because you are still talking about a gated neighborhood with a golf course, pools, tennis, pickleball, and a clubhouse. But compared to the others on this list, this is one of the few places where you can still see options around the mid 800s with a more typical upper range around 1.5 million. And listen, that's gonna matter. The homes here are mostly late 90s to early 2000, and the lots are smaller than the others that we've talked about so far. Generally more like a quarter acre to half an acre with tighter spacing in between the homes, and that really is the trade-off here. It feeds into Cogburn Woods Elementary, Hopewell Middle, and Cambridge High, so even at that more approachable end of Milton, the school story is still very strong. Crooked Creek gives you a more attainable entry point into Milton, but you are giving up some of the land, the privacy, and estate feel that make the other neighborhoods feel so, or more, distinctly Milton. So if you want amenities and a Milton address, but you do not need the big lot and the $5 million wow house, this one makes a ton of sense. And by the way, if you're trying to figure out which part of Milton, or maybe just which suburb around Metro Atlanta actually fits your budget and your lifestyle best, reach out anytime. I help people relocate to this area all the time, and I'd be happy to help you narrow it down as well. Now, let's get into the one that might be the most Milton thing of all. One of the best neighborhoods in Milton is no neighborhood at all, and I really mean that. This is Milton's real superpower. Because as great as the named communities are, one of the biggest reasons people move to Milton is for the chance to have your own oasis. Privacy, custom home freedom, no HOA nonsense, just you, your land, and nature. Long driveways, tree buffers, rolling pasture views, maybe even a barn or a riding area. That is a very real part of the appeal out here. And in Milton, that is not some tiny niche thing. It's a major part of why people move here. On the low end, acreage properties might start around 1 to 1.5 acres. More typically, you're gonna see maybe 2 to 3, and then it can go all the way up from there, 10 acres, 20 acres, even 45 acres in some cases. Price-wise, sky's the limit. There's currently a 12-acre new construction estate being built for over $13 million. It's amazing. I'd love to show it to you. And this is where Milton really starts to separate itself from almost any other suburb in Metro Atlanta, because the kind of privacy and breathing room you get here is just very hard to find closer in. It is not just about luxury neighborhoods. It's about the space, the privacy, the flexibility, and the ability to build something that actually feels like your own. And with Milton's development restrictions, you really do feel that. It still feels protected in a way that a lot of other suburbs around Atlanta just do not. So yes, the country club neighborhoods are great, but if someone asks me what Milton's real superpower is, this is definitely my answer. Those are 5 standout ways to live in Milton. The Manor is the statement neighborhood. White Columns is the classic one. Triple Crown gives you the equestrian look without having to actually take care of horses. Crooked Creek is the more approachable entry point, and acreage in Milton is the thing that makes Milton feel different from almost everywhere else. And that is really the point. Milton is not just one version of luxury, it is several versions of it. So the right choice is not just which one is the nicest, it is about which version of Milton is gonna fit you best. And if you're trying to figure out which neighborhood or area around Milton makes the most sense for you in your move, reach out anytime. I do this all day long, and I'd be happy to help you narrow it down as well. Reach out however is easiest for you. And if you're still in research mode, keep watching some more videos. I'll see you in the next one.